Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Dudecast with yours truly, or Segev, also known as the head dude. And to my left is my loyal co-host, Philip the Office Plant, always here to share his knowledge, wise beyond his years, his young Philip. But today's going to be a bit of a different episode. It's going to be a top of the dome. I just wanted to kind of share something that I've gone through recently with you guys, and more specifically about sales. Um, it's just gonna be you and I talking. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna crack open the Celsius. Oh yeah, that was good. Was that as good for you guys as it was for me? Okay, so let's get into it. So today's kind of special mini episode, I want to talk about an experience, a sales experience that I went through. It really got me to open up my mind, and it made me think a little bit about how we do sales, about how the industry sees sales, about what we can do better. So get comfortable. Let's spend the next 5-10 minutes together talking about my experience of buying a new car. I think when people think about buying a new car or about pressure sales, they think about used cars and car sales in general. I also tend to think that way. And also, as background, I've gone through, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 transactions of buying vehicles used, new, lease, financed. I've done it all. We have a fleet of almost 10 vehicles for Patch Dudes. So I've been around the block once or twice. So recently I had to wow, my accent really came out. I had to give up my work truck to our new production manager, which is a fantastic thing in our business because it means I have to do less running around and less production management. And I also thought to myself, I've been driving pickup trucks for the last 12 years. I'm kind of sick of them. I've always been a car guy. I always love hot hatches. So I told myself, you know what? This is the time. You're in the office most of the time. You don't need to be on the road. Let's get a hot hatch. And what better hot hatch than a Golf GTI? So I started looking around at the new Golf GTIs, and then I learned about the Golf R's, which is a GTI on steroid. But long story short, I test drove one in a local dealership a couple months before I made up my mind and decided that is the vehicle. They grind my gears, gives me the fizz, makes me excited in my trousers. That's the vehicle that I want. So once I got the approval from Mika, my wife, and our financial officer, I started shopping around. I already made a decision in my head that I'm going to be buying this vehicle. Doesn't matter the price point. I made an internal decision that I want that luxury good. Now, this is where the whole experience gets a bit more interesting. What I did is I went on Auto Trader and CarGuru, or whatever the hell it's called, and I searched for every vehicle available on lot, the exact same model, the exact same spec that I wanted. I know I wanted a 2025. I wanted a Golf R version, and ideally the black package. Um, and I put all that into Auto Trader. It gave me about 10 different vehicles available in the greater Toronto area within basically an hour drive from where I was. Fantastic. What I've done, I basically, there's out of the 10, I think 6 were the color that I wanted. So I contacted all 6. And I think the price range of all of them was pretty much identical. So really it was going to come down to not really the price, but more the experience I got. And at this point, I haven't even talked to anyone, and I already had a guard up. I already had an objection in my mind to people trying to sell me. I knew I was going to get sold to aggressively. And that really made me really annoyed. And I'm the type of person that when I make up my mind, I just want it done. I wanted the least amount of inconveniences to me. And sometimes I'm willing to pay a premium just to have the best experience possible. So I contacted those 6 dealerships, and I kid you not, I think I might have gotten a total of about close to 100 calls and text messages from all of the different automated bots and salespeople. It's like those car salespeople, they don't know what the word no means. So immediately, I got bombarded with calls and texts. Hi, this is Anna from VW. Hi, this is this from VW. Hi, this is this person from VW. And without fail, each one of them wanted me to come into the dealership. And to each one of them, I told, I already test drove one. I don't need to come to the dealership. I want to know what my starting price point with you guys looks like. Put together a deal sheet for me, send it over by email, and I will get back to you. Now, that is where it started getting interesting, because out of the 6, not a single one one person actually took the time to ask me what I cared about. So the first thing that the other ones did was to try to get me to the dealership. Then they started talking about a bunch of crap about the vehicle that I just didn't care about. They're trying to give me the little details, like, oh, this is going to be a great car for you and your family. Oh, this is going to be a fantastic car for getting groceries. Oh, it's so fun to drive. Again, not a single one other than this one guy, Ben from VW Cambridge, actually asked me, hey, or do you care about test driving this? Do you care? Well, like, what do you want to know about this vehicle? Which was refreshing, because what he did, he flipped the script, and instead of making this about the vehicle, he made the sales experience about me, which is a huge, huge point to make here. In order to be able to gain trust and erase the stigma of high pressure sales that we have in our industry as well, it's so important that people understand that we have to make the sales about the customer. It's not about you, Mr. Joe Painter, or you, Mr. George Carpenter, and how amazing you are and what a great job you'll do. It's about the customer. What does the customer care? So at that point, Ben asked me, hey, or do you want to test drive it? And I said, no, I already test drove it before. I know what the car looks like. I'm just honestly interested in what the deal would look like. And they said, you know what? Fantastic. I realize you're about an hour away from Cambridge, and I don't want to make you drive, for no reason. So I looked at Philip. Philip looked at me, and we said, Ben, you're the man. Let's get a deal together and start, the first next step. But before that, he asked me another thing that literally nobody asked me. Out of the 6 dealerships, he said, you know what? Before I do that, I know you don't want to test drive it, but can I take a quick video of the car to show you what the actual car looks like on our lot? And he said he's also a car guy, so he knows that it's fun to see what it looks like. And that was a brilliant move on his behalf, because not only did he made it about me, he was showing me that he's going above and beyond, creating reciprocity for me, because he's going to go above and beyond and take a custom video for me. And he asked me, is there anything specifically that I wanted to see in the video? And I told him, nope, go shoot it. He was kind of cool. He did a cold start, and if there's other car guys in here, there's nothing better than a cold start on a cold morning. Hearing your potential car go, vroom, 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 it's awesome. So he understood the assignment, and he flipped the script and made it about me. After he sent me the video, he started putting together the deal sheet and sent it over to me, which I appreciated, because that allowed me to basically complete my data gathering stage. Okay. So in sales, and the way the most people buy, before they reach out to you, or even when they reach out to you, most of the time they're not in the make a purchase stage yet, but they're still in the data gathering before they can even consider making a purchase. So he sent me a deal sheet that I could compare to the other 4 that I gotten so far. And then right away, I could see that he was about $30 per month higher than what I thought was an identical trim. So I thanked him, and then I sent him the similar one, not to start haggling, but to tell him, like, this is what I think is identical. What is it like? What am I missing? Why is yours $30 a month more? And then he took a look, and really quickly I felt like an idiot, because I was not comparing apples to apples. It was a different trim. One was the black edition, one was just the normal R. I'll spare you the technical details. So he already, he faced one objection. There really wasn't an objection. And then he was able to steer the conversation back, give me the information that I was missing from my data gathering stage. And then I actually understood that I was comparing apples to oranges, so I sent him another apple. So I sent him another quote that I got that was about $15 a month cheaper, from VW nearby here. To which he said, thank you for sending to me. Yeah, that is correctly the right data. We're comparing apples to apples. But then he explained to me that the deal they put together is not going to get approved by VW Credit because they were manipulating the residual value to allow for lower payment, which the credit guys will not approve, resulting in a pretty crappy experience, which he didn't even know it at the time. But whether he was right or wrong, when he was saying that by giving an upfront and honest price, he's trying to save the disappointment and headache and bad experience with the dealership, which is my biggest pet peeve. I hate nothing. I hate more than sitting in a dealership and going back and forth between the salesperson to the manager and the manager to the salesperson and doing this fake negotiation that we all know it's fake. And then going to the sales manager and whatnot. So he basically played on that. He pulled my heartstring on that. And I thought that was great. And just the pure honesty that he's admitting that it's cheaper and kind of explaining being a subject matter expert, because I mean, whether he was right or wrong, I don't know, but I got good vibes and trustworthiness from Ben. So at that point, Ben was able to convert me from the data gathering stage to let's make a deal stage. So if we're doing the comparison to trade sales, essentially I was a homeowner thinking of doing popcorn removal. So I called 5 or 6 different companies, got ranges all over the wazoo, and I was just confused. So he was that one contractor that stood above the rest by being a bit more honest. So, every contractor or painter or drywall company that you call, first thing they want to do is let's come to the site, do a visit. Which is honestly a complete waste of the company's time and a complete waste of the client's time if they're not in the purchasing stage. So it's super important. Make sure that when you're talking to your new leads, identify what stage they are. And the questions should be about them. It shouldn't be you trying to sell them how amazing you are right away. It should be questions along the like of, hey, Mrs. Jones, what do you care about on this project? I know that you want to paint your house, but have you had experience before with professional painters? How did that go? And listen to what they're telling you. Most of the time, they'll give you the answers that you need. Most of the times, they'll be selling themselves. So, data gathering stage. Let's move on to the purchase making decision. So, long story short, fast forward 2 days, I make it to the dealership. And at that point, I am excited. The car is waiting for me out there. It's clean. I do a cold start. It roars like a mini Ferrari. And I love it. I mean, my 12-year-old boy comes out and I'm like, kid in a candy shop. I want this car. And he knows it. He knows he had me. And from there, I was pretty much put my game face on. We walk back to his desk. We sit down, and Ben starts going through the deal. It comes out to whatever, for sake of argument, let's do $450 a month, right? And I already had a price in my mind, and I want it to be about $420 a month, about $30 difference. Long story short, I told him, Ben, I like you. I like the company. I think this is the car for me. Let's make a deal. This is where I need to be. Can you get there? Now, he could have told me no, and he could have maybe do something, but I also told him I don't want to go back and forth with the manager. I just don't. Like, save me. Here's my best price. This is your best price. Let's meet somewhere. He was able to do that. They went back and forth with the manager only once. Manager came out. We made a deal as well. And the entire time they kept asking what I wanted, what would make me comfortable. For example, once we signed the deal, I told him, "Hey, man, I don't mean to be like an asshole, but I do have a very busy life. I can't really come back here, and I don't really want to spend the next 3 hours with the finance manager." Which, by the way, his name was Jamal, and he was fantastic. So they were able to tailor a solution for me by doing everything virtually on the phone, and by emails, and the approval process was very, very, very smooth. But what I'm trying to say is, at that point, it was the equivalent of going to the on-site estimate, doing your measurements, because obviously you got to do measurements, you got to look some technical stuff. That is what I call the test drive, right? So like you're test driving the project by doing your measurements and whatnot and seeing the details that you need to know. Your clients are test driving you to see how you interact with them, right? How, if you're respectable, if you're well presenting, if you look the part, you smell good, not like cigarettes and Red Bull. So like there is some sort of an equivalent of a test drive happening between you and your client when you're doing the site visit, right? After they're out of the data gathering stage. Also, at that point, the client has probably made up their mind that they're going to make a decision unless they enjoy having random people come to their house. And if that's the case, you, Mr. Contractor, have not done a good enough job pre-qualifying your lead. And once you finish the test drive, then the negotiation happens. I am a big supporter of trying to do a one-call close, but not in a salesy way. If you set up your clients and the client is mentally in a place to buy, by all means, present your price, do the estimate, build rapport, and try to overcome objections. But then again, I cannot stress this enough, how much this experience opened my eyes to how much we as business owners and sales managers and salespeople, we have to put ourselves in the shoes of our clients and switch it to make this entire experience about them and how we can make their life as easy as possible. People don't want to be sold to, they want to buy. So how can we create a situation that allows them to buy in an environment they feel comfortable and safe and they can trust you to get the job done? If you can figure out that nut, and that is a loaded nut, you'll be very successful. So, my goal and my role as the, call it whatever you want, president of the company, I am on a mission to make working with us as easy as possible for the client. I would like to sell like I like to buy, which means I don't need to be sold to. I want to flip our entire process to make it about you and your client. How can we make your life easy? How can we make the whole experience about you? And hopefully more people become like Mr. Ben Lee from VW Cambridge. Huge shout out to you for being better than the rest. I think the whole car sales industry needs to take a chill pill, re-examine how they do things. And honestly, there's a lot that awesome trades can learn from it. If anything, if you take anything from this rant that I just went on, is make the sales experience about the customer and not about how amazing you are. I will leave you with that. I'll keep sipping my poison drink here. Me and Philip are going to keep talking about this. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Like always, give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment on the YouTube or wherever you watch us, and click subscribe. It helps this little channel grow. Hopefully we can get some really cool guests coming up really soon. And if you haven't done so yet, give our mother company, Patch Dudes, a thumbs up, a follow on Instagram. And if you need any drywall work, give us a ring-a-ding-ding. Thank you guys, and see you on the next episode.